but you could work that out with Shu. I kind of want to add the bum 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 from the duck song. Maybe. We can look into that. All right. We have been streaming for 25 minutes, and we are just now getting to the game. Why can't I just nut? This soundboard's so silly, but I love it. I love it. All right. So when we last left off, we determined that based on the layout of the room and from what we learned about Alabast, the Alabastian side of the embassy, we are now super suspicious of Sheena, Lang's sidekick. Sheena may in fact be the killer. Monka S. Which is even more perilous because she intentionally tried to pin that on Kay. So she was using her authority as a police person to, try to fuck over Kay, which is really fucking bad. Let's not jump to conclusions yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next one and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Cochin. I don't have any proof yet, however, I know she is hiding something from us. I'm gonna go ask Miss Sheena herself. Not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, it's my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth? I have a 2-part special assignment for you. I need you to run a handwriting analysis on Master Mass 2's note. Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall. Right now, sir? No, next decade. Of course now. We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we? Go on, Gummy. You can do it. All right. I'm going to do this like a real man. Here I go. Through the fireplace and back. You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective. Wow, the wall inside the fireplace really did turn. It's so neat. Now I want to try and go through there too. There really is a secret passageway through there. I had no idea. It would appear the ash really was pushed into the other room. Furthermore, the Bobblely's ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall. Okay, here I go. Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same conditions as the killer. That's all that... Well, there's all that ash and stuff. And your point is, now we're short on time. If you could please hurry on through. Oh, yes, sir. So now we pretty much have the whole picture, right? Not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve, such as the Yatagarasu's whereabouts and other smuggling ring members. The 2 weapons that made it across the border, the key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies. A number of pieces connect in a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said it's easy if you follow the leads. Was that supposed to be an impression of me, Kay? If it's info gathering you need, Gummy and I can help with that. All you have to do is show off your fancy-smancy logical deductions. Show off? Am I being boastful when I do that? Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? We've been so focused, like a laser, on what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But, if we think things through calmly, the answers should come to us. Okay? That's the sort of thing I say to myself when I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know. That is something that I hope practice doesn't make perfect for your sake. There we go. Good work, Detective. Cough, cough. Looks like you can use that fireplace like a door, sir. Are you alright, Gummy? I'm okay. I'm just a bit of ash. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all. Jack's gotten quite filthy. I see the hem is practically turned to black. Yeah, well, quite a bit of unburned ink in there, sir. I see. Thank you, Detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bill for the trench coat. What? Oh, no, sir. I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. If it was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it cleaned, but, you know. I see. Very well, then. As you wish. So because Gummy was able to climb... Why does he not care? Okay, whatever. Yeah, Shu, if you want the bum bum bum, bum bum bum, I'll see if I can't cut it out. Or if you want to listen to it and see if you can find the best one, we'll look at it. Send me the video link as well, and I'll look at it. Also, AP, what is this? The Do My Best. Who is that? Nino? Oh, is that from, that's from Heroes, isn't it? FEH. Because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it can be used, right? Yes, but that's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact. I will have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Dr. Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. The handwriting analysis on Mr. Cochin's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let us go and wait in the Theater Neutralis, along with Agent Lang and Agent Sheena. She's from FE7. Maybe you should play it sometime? No. I have played it. I've never beaten it. And you know damn well my track record for beating Fire Emblem games. We were actually a lot closer to the end of that chapter than I thought we were. What a dumb pair of sunglasses. Lang Z says, little cubs, never do they know the real fury of the elder wolves. They're definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. What does that mean? It means that you'll never really know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor, the counterfeit bills made with Bobble's ink. They were all of Zhang Fa denominations. Yes, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. We don't know where the play money has gone. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zhang Fa's in financial chaos as we speak, because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. It's not just the money, the citizens are also worried. I've staked the honor of the House of Lang on this, and I've now come to this land to capture the mastermind who's behind this whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zhang Fa. I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh no, it is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. If only I was able to think of a better solution. Quirkus, you fool! Curse your empty brain. Being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. I don't like to admit it, but there's not much else for us to do to go home as well. Agent Lang, a moment. You, Wolfman and Secretary Lady, hold it. Objection, pal. Dr. Gumshoe, have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already? Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Cochin, sir. Just as I thought. Good work, Detective. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. How long do you intend to hold us up for? Huh. Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something, if you don't mind. Yes? How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu when you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Koshin was killed? I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Mr. Prosecutor, what are you doing asking her about something she didn't see? Candy. Huh. The amount of fake bills needed to devalue currency is a lot. Got it. 2B. It's 2B, dude. Okay. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII. At least not that far, so. No, it's Fire Emblem 7, not Final Fantasy 7. Also, hi, Candy. Back me up? To what? I do not like FF7. I got to the part where I got to Red 13, and then I never made it any further. Good evening, Candy. Hope you're doing well. Agent Lang hasn't touched the ball investigation at all. I suppose I will need to explain a few things to him first. Miles Edgeworth, I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh? Sounds like you have some sort of plan. I'll supervise you until the end. Is she seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day? Huh? Hope you're doing well. I can't complain. I can complain, but I can't. I have been asked. Well, I can complain. Damn. I have been asked to take care of my my neighbor's dogs, and he's not really my neighbor. He lives like a couple streets over, but pretty close. And so I'm feeding him in the morning and at night, and those are some big dogs, and yeah, they're good boys. I sent a picture. I know I sent a Snapchat of him before. There's a Siberian Husky. He's a fucking big monster dog. He's super fluffy. I will send a snap tomorrow. Taking care of them tomorrow before and after work, and then Friday morning. They're coming back Friday night. So. All right, resume. But yes, so I had to wash my clothes because I was covered in dog fur. So, is she seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day? You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are ya? I'm not trying to pick a fight, and the evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see. Ha! I should have known that you and I are destined to fight it out to the very end. It would appear that way. I'll prove her innocence, so let's see what you got, prosecutor. I almost said professor. So don't have all Fenn's fur out of the carpet? Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's it's very much like glitter. Humph. With pleasure. My opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babal and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. If I sent you a glitter bomb, how mad would you be? Oh god. I would be pretty mad. Yeah. And she was like, I love it. That's, you would never get that out of your carpet. Hang on.
Tell me the ducks.
Oh, no, stop. I don't like having notifications, so I clicked on it, but I'm going to leave it up there. Like, mad enough to ignore me? Like, mad enough to ban you. Like, actually ban you. For like a hot minute. I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony. You mean the suspicious person in a coat that she saw? That's right. The person is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu. Pretended? And what do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second, but first, I want to review what this person Kay saw did. Kay, if you could please explain what the person you were chasing did for us? Sure, you got it. I first spotted a suspicious person near the open-air stage of the Baba Lee side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, the person ran off. I thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase. I would appreciate it. For the sake of argument, let's call this suspicious person the Yatagarasu. Now, please tell us what happened when you chased the Yatagarasu up to the 3rd floor. Can do. I chased the Yatagarasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Baba Lee's embassy. It was pretty straight chase down the hallway until the sudden turn. The Yatagarasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. When I turned the corner, I saw the Yatagarasu head into Mr. Kojin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. Hang on. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light, and then... Dun dun dun. Ah! I have this awful emo habit of swiping my bangs out of my eyes, no matter what I do. What I did to try and prevent it. Every time we'd use glitter at work, it always ended up coating my hair without fail. Laundry was fun. I do have like that sort of push my hair back swoosh to get that good swoop effect. I need the swoosh. Who's there? Bro, when hair touches my ears, I cannot. I don't even notice it anywhere. Yeah, I don't even notice it. The only thing that bothers me is, so at the top of the swoosh here, right here, this like little spot of hair, it's like specifically this spot of hair right here, this little tuft of hair, grows directly into my eyeball. Every time without fail. It loves to fall down from the rest of the swoosh and go directly into my eyes. And that is the most annoying thing. I have to constantly keep it pushed back. But I used to have kids hold my bangs and fix them for me on the paint days. Yeah. They would be painting and then you have them fix your bangs for you? That seems like a bad idea. That's what I'm saying. Are they? On the paint days. Now I'm like, what in the world? You're gonna get paint in your hair all day. By the time I had turned on the lights, the Yatagarasu had disappeared. When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lang? What do you mean, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped out through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness. Sorry, but I know for a fact the person didn't escape through that door. Oh? And how do you know that with such certainty? That's easy. If the Yatagarasu had left the door, they would run into this person. Your answer is Sheena? Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if Yatagarasu had used the door. When Kei screamed upon discovering Mr. Kochin's body, the Yatagarasu would have run right into Agent Sheena, who was in the next room over. Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? If my hands were covered from helping, then I'd have the oldest, cleanest ones do it. There you go, the clean ones. They make duck song leggings? Oh my god. Shoo, no. Shoo, don't do it. Don't do it. I was braiding somebody's hair in school, and one time they chemically straightened their hair and it crunched. So I said, "Why is your hair like spaghetti?" Chemically straightened. That's a weird one. No, don't most people straighten it with like an iron? Like they get it hot and they're like, right? I can't imagine straightening your hair with chemicals. That just seems weird. Alright. Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see, therefore, the Yatagarasu could not have... Oh, just means that the creep slipped out before Sheena made it out into the hallway. I doubt that, as there was another person in that hallway, a certain detective. Detective Gumshoe, where were you exactly at that time? Me, sir? Well, when I heard Kei's scream, I ran towards Mr. Kochin's office from the opposite direction of Sheena, sir. So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route. Grah!
Wow.
Wow. Getting hosted? Oh, hey! That's the long name person. Where were Jarger Man Jensen? Jen Jensen. There we go. How's it going? I'm just gonna call you Werbin. I hope that's okay. Because Werbin Jagerman Jen Jensen is a long name. You braided girl's hair, I was smooth. Interesting. I generally don't touch women's hair, or girls' hair for that matter. Not during school, not now. Although the other day, one of my coworkers was wearing these, like, they were leggings, but they had this weird texture to them. You know, like those pillows that, like, you kind of like swipe it one way and it changes colors, and you swipe it the other way and it goes to a different color, right? It was kind of like that material. And I was like, what is going on with your leggings? And she was like, you want to touch them? And she was like, and I was like, where do I, where's HR? Like, what do I do here? So I went for the kneecap. I was like, kneecap, that's safe. Okay, there we go. Had to think about that one for a second. Damn, that kneecap is sexy. So shapely. Hot. Really. Need quote to teach me how to French braid. Teach me how to French braid. Teach me how to French braid. She got friend zoned so hard. Damn, feels bad, man. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. You nailed him with just an explanation of what happened. AP out here breaking hearts. I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room. This is far from over. Okay. Ha ha ha. I get it. So that's what you were trying to show me. Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, then there must have been another way out. Precisely. Alright. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to bust out our revolving fireplace wall explanation, right? No, not quite yet. Huh? But why? I thought this would be the perfect time. The revolving wall... I like how we're just saying it out loud instead of, like, whispering. I always see memes about this. Now I see for real. So, by the way, this game is a spin-off game from the series, right? It's very similar. It has a lot of the same characters, and it has a lot of the same writing style, but it's slightly different in that it's like a crime scene investigation as opposed to like a crime scene and a courtroom drama, right? There's no courtroom drama section. It's all like outside of the courtroom. So it has different dynamics, but it still does a lot of storytelling and, you know, a lot of that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's very similar to the style you might see. With me in the cart when I realized I can't handle roller coasters at the town fair. Classic Tot. Classic. Alright. If we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end. What's all the whispered over there, huh? Scared I'll figure out your tactics? Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off. That smug, haughty attitude of yours, you really rubbed me the wrong way, you know that? Huh. Well, no matter. I figured you out already anyways. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the lone window. And since an eerie picture of said escape route exists, are you saying that this photo captures the moment of the Yatagarasu's escape? I guess Detective Bad must have filled him in on the photo. I have to admit that at first, I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. I now know that would be impossible. Now, I realize you may not know this, but humans can't fly. Pretty sure that was when I knew I was ace, but didn't know what to call it. Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never said that I thought the photo of the Yatagarasu was... I never said I thought the photo to be of the Yatagarasu's escape route. I suppose not. Oh, right. Explain yourself. The shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu that Kay was chasing after. You can say whatever you'd like in whatever language you want, but there's only one language I really understand. The language of evidence. Very well then. I present to you proof. The person Kay saw is not the same as the one in the photo. Ah, Jesus Christ, what am I supposed to do here? Fuck, what do I do? Okay. The first fire at the Bobblies Embassy occurred during the Jam and Ninja show. The fire occurred on the 4th and 5th floors, and it took until the end of the show to put the fire out. The first fire had taken place. Oh, actually, wait, is there... The only thing I noticed is that there's no shadow on the spotlights, which means this would have happened after the original scramble. But now I'm trying to think what is going on here. All right. Let's think about it. Let's think. Proof the person K saw is not the same as the one in the photo. Okay. How do you prove that they're not the same? Does this have any proof? No, not really. Could opium paper document? No, not really. Knife handle, no. Bobbly's ink, no. Counterfeit bills, no. Oh, the note, no. No. You just remembered something. Ooh. Do tell. So left behind close to you. Okay. You were in my dream last night. Oh boy. Interesting. I was sitting in for a ritual. I wonder what kind of ritual it was. Ah, geez, Louise. What is the evidence? Okay, how do I prove? Right? The person that we chased definitely didn't jump out the window. I know that. But because I know that, how do I prove that this isn't the same? There's no way. Received from Detective Tyrell Bad. Well, aren't the timelines different? Because this happened before the fires or whatever. Yeah, this was taken before the fire, so isn't that proof enough? This is not going to work.
Take that.
Oh, that did work. Okay. I did not have faith that the game was going to do that for me. By the way, I'm going to make a quick save. It's been a little minute. I want to make sure that we keep our health high.
Do my best.
Jesus, that's loud. Alright, let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu Kei saw. Kei spotted the Yatagarasu heading for the 3rd floor during the second fire. The photo in question was taken just after the first fire. No! Yeah, way to go. That's twice you've bit him in the butt now. We're not done yet. You still have to explain what that shadow is, and how the Yatagarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet. Ha! As I thought. However, the Yatagarasu's escape route? Now that I can answer. You can? Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on then. Enlighten me. Even if I explain it, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Al Bastion investigation, correct? In that case, I doubt you'd have much knowledge about the Bobbly side of the case. So wouldn't it be best if we lead on that side? If the lead on that side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead? Sheena is my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eyes and call myself her boss? Man, I wish my bosses felt this good. I wish my bosses had this sort of dignity to like stick up for their employees. Like, it's alright, I can take care of them. Sheena, anime, You shielded me a lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth. Also, it's such a weird fake smile. I don't know what it is about it, but there's something about this face of hers that's so disconcerting. Alright, if you're okay with it, then you have my support. It's down to just Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it you'd like to ask? Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Bobbly's embassy? This is like Among Us. What were your movements during that last section. Well, during the first fire, you know, whenever the nuclear reactor was going off, I assisted in putting out the fire. Yeah, so I actually disabled the reactor on the left side. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babal. Whenever the oxygen went off, I was over in admin. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. That's all I have to say. I'm not lying when I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Cochin's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone. Ugh. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi, is that correct? Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale? You're alone by yourself, in a room. You're suspicious. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner? Grr! Not that it's unexpected for that useless lump to get into such a situation, although I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. I will make no excuse for what I did in that situation. Then you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. I'm sorry. Sheena, apologize. I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second. And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Then let's put that to the test and see if she really is worthy of your trust. Heh. This promises to be interesting. AP, what ritual were we performing? Now I'm curious. Were we trying to summon somebody? A ghost? A spooky boy? Was it a Ouija board? Summoning Crampi? During the first Bobbleese fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. That's great. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that had appeared in Babal. Actually, I want to press on every one of these. You helped with the fire extinguishing effort. I was in charge of the police of the Bobbleese side, so I helped them with their work. Police do the job of firemen. You really know how to work people. She sure does. That's because she's one awesome woman who knows how to manage. I guess so. She's always bringing you a business card or a scroll at just the right time. To prepare everything before I'm ordered to. That is the definition of a secretary. She kind of seems more capable than Agent Lang, doesn't she? At the very least, she's certainly more capable than you, Detective. Aww. I kind of had a feeling you were going to go there. Sheena's more than just a capable secretary, you know. Sheena, tell him about the other things you're good at. Alright. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that had appeared in Babal. Although it can't be Crampi, we didn't have any birds, or beefalo, or pigs, or rabbits, or small birds, or tall birds. Or pigs, or rabbits, or small birds, or tall birds, or bluebirds, or red birds, or one birds, or two birds. Red birds, okay, I said bluebirds and red birds instead of one birds and red birds and bluebirds and one birds and two birds. There we go. By the second fire, you mean the one that consumed the third floor of Babal, correct? Yes. That was when the suspicious person was spotted in Babal. Then you were after the same person in a long coat that I was after. There's no proof the suspicious person was really the Yatagarasu, because no one was able to get a good look at the person's face. By the way, how was your team's investigation? In order to extinguish the fire, water had to be pumped into the third floor via the windows. The majority of the investigators conducted their searches on other floors. Maybe they did, but there was still one person who was wandering around lost on the third floor. When the fire was pretty much out, I moved to investigate the third floor. You did that alone? Yes. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. So you were in the room next to Mr. Kochen's office. I already told you I was earlier. And I was examining the neighboring room, I heard that girl's shrill scream. After hearing her, I immediately ran towards Mr. Kochen's office. Wherein you proceeded to arrest her, as I recall. Yes, I did. She was totally innocent. Ah, yeah, whatever. And I thought I had already apologized for my behavior. Now, if the tenacious detective would be so kind as to be quiet, I have to agree. Right now is not the time to take issue with that. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. What I do take issue is with the fact that you didn't see the Yatagarasu, Ichishina. The prosecutors of this country are all so strange. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse. You were able to catch even a glimpse despite being in the next room. Is that true? I really hate to repeat myself. I'm sorry for inconveniencing you. However, I simply wish to make sure that you are not misremembering something. We wouldn't want you to be accused of lying later on, would we? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are you calling Sheena's testimony a lie? Agent Lang, I'm talking with Agent Sheena right now. I'm gonna need you to chill your fucking tits. I'd appreciate it if you didn't interrupt us with your superfluous comments.
You donut.
Aw, you know, I feel kind of bad for him. I understand his pain at watching one of his subordinates being accused. However, I cannot turn my eyes from the truth. Lang, I'm alright. And as for you, I think you should be focusing your doubts on the girl rather than me. And why is that? I'm actually very skeptical the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. Are you throwing Kay's words into doubt again? Well, she does claim to be the Yatagarasu, right? And she did try to chase down the Yatagarasu despite being just an average citizen. She came here with the goal of capturing the fake Yatagarasu. Which is why I would never lie about anything related to the Yatagarasu. And I suppose you have proof of that somewhere? Not quite. Even without any, I have people who believe me, and that's enough. I see. Case testimony was without flaw, but as for yours, let's just say that I find your testimony to be a bit suspicious. There seems to be a very large flaw in her testimony. Why don't you show it by using what we found out with the little thief? I will, in due time. It turns out that it really does lead right to Agent Sheena. Okay, you were in the next room over, and you did not see... Okay. Just doing a couple of safety saves as we keep playing. All right. Oh, damn it. It legit might be faster if I reset and then reload. It took so long. I want to present the revolving fireplace wall. There we go. Being in the room next to Mr. Kochen's office is the problem with your testimony. Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about. Agent Lang, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Alabastian office fireplace? You mean how it connects the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Alabast isn't the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. What? The fireplace in Mr. Cochin's office holds the exact same secret. What? The Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall and into the next room over. Oh. Now do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, the thief would have run straight into Agent Sheena. Pog! Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu. Blown back! Bro, she's gonna snap her neck with one of those. What is the meaning of this, Miles? Would you care to explain, Agent Sheena, how you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I? Uh-oh. We got emo hair. Your claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? The truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, and you were the one who she chased after. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Cochin's office and headed for the fireplace. You shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Sheena. After that, you came back around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace. How dare you make Kay look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal? Uh-oh. I like how they're both like, she's like, Monka ass. Sheena? Bruh. She's gonna level up. She's gonna go Super Saiyan. Oh, she's Callisto? Wow. That laugh. I've heard that laugh before. I remember this irritating laugh. Brr, I'm getting chills down my spine. Can't be, but it has to be. Sheena, what's wrong? Phew. I'm sorry. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? There we go. That's the look I'm looking for. That you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are all so very strange. Do you think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. It's that prosecutor. She do be serving some looks though, like this one. Those are some fuck me eyes if I ever saw them. Everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. Dude, same. The tone of voice you're taking with me now certainly has changed. That's because it's been a while since we've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know, which is why I won't hold anything back either as I answer your question. My question? Here is your proof the revolving fireplace was used recently. Okay. Maybe it's this one? I don't know what to do. There we go. Is this really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to Ambassador Polano's testimony... Oop, save. I don't have to go through like 20 minutes of shit. Text messaging just to get back here. Big, what do you call it? We had a big exposition section. According to the Ambassador Polano's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Kochin. Oh? The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. When we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up. Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Polano said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Kochin's office is my proof. Ah ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. And just what is so funny? Ashes proof? Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? You still wish to fight us? Of course, why wouldn't I? In that case, let's hear your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court. Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in court. Let's finish this here and now. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap this absurd case up once and for all. I have so many pieces of evidence we haven't used yet. In my eyes, all we've proven is that the rotating fireplace wall was used. You can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace now, can you? Now then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation. We found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochin's office. And there you have it, my counter-argument. Arg! That's very impressive. She has seen through the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence. What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you. If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest of us to it. But pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not? Gah! If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. This chase you're running to catch... This chase you're running to catch the truth, you must see through it. See it through to the very end. You're right. I will see through it to the end. God, I'm Kay Faraday. I don't know why I gave her this voice. You'll get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth. With pleasure. Lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena, please, show me you're someone I can trust. Don't worry, this will be the deciding match. You'll see. I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang. I simply cannot allow her to escape me again. Agent Sheena, shall we begin? I'm ready whenever you are. In my eyes, all you've proven is that the rotating fireplace wall was used. It sounds to me like you're saying my explanation isn't good enough. I was able to go through the revolving door myself, so that should be proof enough, even for you, pal. It looks like you don't quite understand, but by your looks, I can guess that you're not all that learned. Wow, rude. Youch. Talk about rude. Thank you. You should watch what you say, pal. Can't say I disagree with her on that one, though. Wrecked. Dude. But you know what I mean, right? You may have proven that the fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, can you? So you want proof the Yatagarasu was the one who used the fireplace. That's right. Well, do you have any? Arr. Can you prove that it wasn't the Yatagarasu? That's not how that works. I don't need to prove anything to you. Objection! Kay, if you could please not steal my line. Sorry, I just couldn't hold it anymore. Well, don't fret and leave her to me. All you have to do is sit back and watch. You may seem to have... seem to have some wiggle room, but without any evidence, it's meaningless. Dun, 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 dun. The Yatagarasu left fingerprints. No. I'm in the zone. Auto zone. I had the forensics team check that already. All they found were prints belonging to Ambassador Plano and Mr. Cochin. Curses. I should have known better than to think Yatagarasu would be so careless. There must be some sort of evidence we still have yet to find. I take it you have no further objections? We've already finished our very thorough investigation. So you've finished examining the entire Bobolese embassy? Yes. The investigators who weren't allowed into Alabast were incredibly helpful. They all put in the great efforts to search for any sign of the Yatagarasu. Yet, despite all that effort, it appears that they had failed to notice the lack of ash in the office fireplace. Furthermore, you were the one who inspected the room next to Mr. Cochin's, correct? I didn't notice the ash there in the fireplace of that room, and for that, I am sorry. You don't need to apologize, Sheena. As your boss, your mistakes are my mistakes. So allow me to apologize for you. I'm sorry. Maybe this guy's not such a bad guy after all. He apologized for his subordinate and everything. What a great boss. Are you saying that I don't do anything for my own subordinates? No, nothing of the sort, sir. You're someone I really respect, sir, even if you are a bit too strict sometimes. And that is only a problem on your end. Way to be super hard on him in response. Am I really too strict with everyone? Sheena, you didn't find anything at Mr. Cochin's office, right? That's right. We finished our investigation. Not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Cochin's office. You really didn't find anything. Yes, as I said, not one suspicious thing. Although, as you already know, we did find the Yatagarasu's key and the documents detailing the smuggling operation. We still haven't found the blade that belongs to the Bobolese knife handle yet. You see, my subordinates worked hard to investigate everything. There was nothing else to find, right? Agent Lang really sticks up for his people. Lang Zi says, all men are brothers, and friends become family. So you see, my people are my family, and their families are my family too. It's a rather large family you have there. As we all know, there's always one black sheep in any family. And though it pains me, Agent Lang, you will know the black sheep in yours. Do you actually have any proof the Yatagarasu used the fireplace passageway? No, I haven't found any yet. What? How are you gonna do? What? There's no need to worry. Because there is a loophole in Miss Agent's argument that we can exploit first. It's possible she may have tampered with the evidence. Yes. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Edgeworth asking if he's too strict is like me asking if I really lie that much. AP, have you ever... Next time you ask for a bedtime story, I'm going to tell you The Boy Who Cried Wolf. How's that sound? I've got a great story to tell you. While you say that you and your agents have finished your thorough investigation, are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything? Well, aren't we full of ourselves standing there insulting Interpol agents? You better not be insinuating my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor. Do I lie that often? I think you feign ignorance sometimes for the purpose of for entertainment purposes, and then whenever you aren't actually feigning ignorance, we can't tell. I think that's the kicker.
You donut.
Having CJ on my soundboard is great.
You donut.
Just as planned. All right. That's the thing, is that's what you planned, and that's what you're gonna get. So when CJ calls you a pubic hair on the ass of society, he means it, and you're deserving of it. I'd never do that. However, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like you to take a look at this length of wire. And what exactly is that supposed to mean? A length of wire? So what about it? I'll tell you what. We found this in the Bobolese embassy not long ago. What? We found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office. You found that at the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder? But this wire wasn't all we found. We found one other very important thing. There's more? In Mr. Cochin's office, there were signs someone had burned counterfeit bills there. What in the... Yeah? Hold it. That evidence was something you found out through the girl's machine, right? The fact that you know that. So what if it was? That's what I thought. Unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No. You see? So there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can call evidence, anyway. I'm sorry. I seem to have given you the wrong impression. I don't recall saying that I was presenting evidence of any sort. But rather, I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete, and that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Alright then, I ask that you point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. Saving. All according to Kaikaku? What? I do actually like being cornered like that. Do you? You're so weird. Interesting. The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Shina, and it is not possible that the reason the person K chasing... Wait. Is it not possible the reason the person K was chasing chose the third floor was because that person knew there would be no other agents on that floor? Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Shina was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there was one location that no one was yet to inspect. Your team's investigation is incomplete because they failed to inspect this location. The elevator? Okay. It's either the elevator or this room. So the question is, which one is it? What does the elevator importance have to do? We haven't mentioned the elevator yet. It's like self-made argument porn. If I can't have the cool arguments that happen in my head, I'll just will them into existence with years-long planning. You're a piece of shit. You're literally sowing seeds of chaos just for personal gratification. You're literally lying to us for fun so that when we catch you on your lie eventually and we yell at you, then you get off to it.
Got a rock hard ranger!
You're a donut. The location, Agent Sheena, is of course the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Koshin's office warrants a thorough inspection. Well? Well, what? Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you in there. I will be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check what's in the room next to the office. Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think that Miss Sheena is the Adigarasu? Yes. If my logic is sound, I believe she is. It's literally Callisto U. Now that you know this info, don't cuck me. I will 100% cuck you. I'm going to cuck you at every turn. Oh man, I'm not going to let her get away with ruining the name of the Adigarasu. Can you prove she's the Adigarasu is the question. Oh man. If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will find, then I'm just going to learn to not engage anymore. If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will find, then I should be able to. And just what are you hoping he'll find? Let's just say this. I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. As if that detective has the brains for high science. It wasn't that mentally taxing. I had him use the same escape route as the Adigarasu. And what did you find out? That it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving door. Second, that by going through the door, his coat is covered in ash and Bobbly's ink. Who cares what his coat is covered in? It's not worth that much anyways. But is it really worth so little? I believe it's actually worth quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove. Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see. Oh? So what are these things that you found? Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Maybe it's the one the person was chasing. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in that room when you examined it? Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. These items that detective brought back are incredibly significant. I request that we be allowed to examine them. They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission. I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation, but if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. Let them look at your stuff, Sheena. Lang? Sheena? Let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, you have nothing to worry about, right? I guess so. Alright, go ahead. Examine whatever you like. I'll have nothing to hide. Good. Let us begin. The code in particular is interesting because there should be Bobbly's ink on it, but how do I prove that without burning it? Switching to mobile? Sounds good. The shoes. I don't think the shoes have anything to do with it. Maybe ash, but the coat should have ink. Let's examine the coat. Yes, sir. Appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly. Agent Sheena. The Adigarasu that Kay saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if that stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace. No, you have it wrong. That soot probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. What about this dark substance around the hem of your coat? Oh, I didn't realize that the hem was that dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot that got there from helping with the fire. I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie? Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that I got on my coat when I went through the fireplace. Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. So unless you can prove the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace, which I can. How? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe. Me, sir? What did I do? This coat is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person K saw was wearing. And thanks to you, we proved that going through the fireplace was solely a coat. Jesus Christ, she's been gone this whole time. I didn't quite get what you're saying. I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir. All that remains is a great band. Is for us to show what the dark substance on the coat hem is. And you think you can do that? Of course I can. This is the dark substance that's solely the hem of the coat. It's Bobbly's ink. Bobbly's ink? Yes, this is what will prove the coat went through that fireplace. According to Ambassador Polano, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. Yep. My point is that he spilled some ink onto the back wall of the fireplace at the time. And the dark substance on this coat turns out to be Bobbly's ink. It would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace wall. Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu, but we're not finished yet. Well, you have no way of proving whether or not this black Bobbly's ink is on the coat hem. Oh, but I do, and I intend to show that it is ink in a few seconds. How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I will prove the dark substance in the coat. Burn the coat. We can find out whether it's Bobbly's ink or not by lighting it on fire. That's how we're going to prove that it's Bobbly's ink? Yes. If you could please cut a section of the dark stained area, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you, here and now, what the dark substance is. Sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead. I wasn't planning on wearing it anymore anyways. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something? I've got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs, which is super suspicious. I always carry some matches with me just in case I want to hit up a huge bong. Take some fat bong rips. If I could please have one, we can get this experiment underway. The flame. The same color as the flame's wit crystal oil produces, which means Bobbly's ink is a product of white crystal oil. And when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing. Mishina, you're the fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father. It's about time you came clean, Agent Sheena, or should I say, Callisto you. You... Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you? Aha. Callisto you? I've never heard that name before in my life. Manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and tried to frame me for it. And you have proof? You insist that I am this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. And if you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me. The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. The light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true, ugly form to the world. Enough poetry. I want to see some evidence. You really have something that can prove that she is Callisto you? I'm just gonna make a save. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Are you? What Foo Fighter song is that from? Is it Monkey Wrench? Don't wanna be your monkey wrench. Do 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 do. I do. It's something that the second Yatagarasu has preserved for us these last 7 years. Do me the honors, Mr. Edgeworth. I will. We finally come to the end. We'll prove her to be Callisto U with this. The Yatagarasu's key. Don't waste my time with garbage. Now go throw it out in the trash can. What? Fuck you, okay. Okay, that's not it apparently. That you saved? Oh, it's the... Sorry. It's the perfume. This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto U. It will? Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Miss U just before she disappeared 7 years ago. This means that a few of her fingerprints are on here as well. This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Byrne Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades, which means that your fingerprints are still on here, every last one. We can clear everything up if you were to compare the prints of this to your own. Now come, Agent Sheena, will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? Aha. Hee hee hee, hee hee hee, ah ha ha, ah ha 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 ha, ah ha ha, ah ha 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 ha, ah ha ha, ah ha 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 ha. Those are some eyes. Ah ha ha, ah ha 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 ha, ah ha ha, ah ha 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 ha. Looks like, Luke at me. It looks like you've seen right through me yet again. Ah, you're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Mr. Edgeworth. Cornered. Callisto, you. You've shown your true face at last. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than that time 7 years ago. Sheena, you are. Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. So you were a spy all along. You were a spy all along. A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after. Someone has been feeding them intel on Interpol this whole time? Very good. Maybe you're not such a big of an idiot as I thought. Callisto U, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. Poor Lang. That's right, Callisto U. That's just one of my many names. Even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Callisto U, this time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used Yatagarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in my side, just like your father always was. Kay, don't. I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father! Is she punching the air? You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, too, possessed such laughable honesty. God damn it. Kay. Ah! Ah! You let Kay go right now, pal. You despicable. Let go of me, you filthy... Ah! You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu. That's impossible. My father was the one who created Little Thief. Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? Why it has 3 legs? There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Can't be. Did you finally figure it out? Do you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu? The real identity of the Yatagarasu is... Is it Agent Bad? The real identity is neither Byrne nor Callisto. By the same token, they are also both the real Yatagarasu. How very perceptive of you. No way. The single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed. Sir Edgeworth, I refuse to believe this. The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have opportunity to learn the layout of client corporations. Skill number 2. The Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. A good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. And skill number 3. The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever. Hell yeah, Bad. Detective Bad. You know what's funny is that my memory, I don't really remember this game too well, but I remember Agent Bad, and I'm like, isn't he the Yatagarasu? But then when it's like Faraday's father is also the Yatagarasu, I also was like, he's the Yatagarasu. But now it's like, isn't Callisto also the Yatagarasu? So it's like all 3. It's like I kind of remembered that all 3 of them were, but I didn't remember that fact. I just had all 3 of them were in my mind. It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu? I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years. I finally got you. Why, Mr. Bad, a long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. Back with all the snacks? Dude, snack time. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Haha, why indeed? It was nothing personal, really. He was just another person I had to kill. How can you say that? I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. This time, I won't miss. Stop. You! Kay! UK. It's over, Sheena. Your leg. Agent Lang! You idiot. What were you thinking, jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, doesn't change the fact that she's my subordinate. So I'm gonna fuck her.
Do my best!
I don't know. Hi, Lolly. How's it going? Any more Yatagarasus we should know about? You really are an idiot, you know that? Ha, that's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just who I am.
Get a rock-hard ranger!
Hey, sis. Yes? I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. All right. Dr. Gumshoe, your assistance, please. Sir! I found something. Ah, it looks like the blade of a knife. It doesn't have a handle. This is a great find, Detective. What's poppin'? Dude, we're discovering all the secrets. Huh? It is, sir? Let's try pairing this up with a blade. I believe this blade actually belongs to the handle that was the murder weapon. Oh, they fit together perfectly. This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched. I'm going to return this to Bobbly's knife. All right. I trust that you'll make sure that it's returned to the Ambassador Polena. Bitchin'. This makes it perfectly clear who did it, Callisto you. For the only time the handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Cochin's murder. Which means you must be Mr. Cochin's killer. You killed Mr. Cochin with the Alabastian knife. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Bobbly's knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up? It's funny, they used Callisto's voice line there. Did you get your degree in elections? You craft an engaging tale, Mr. Edgeworth, but there are 2 problems with it. In what respect? Why do you think my real reason was... Oh, sorry. Why do you think my real reason was in allowing... Why? Why was... Okay, that's... What do you think my reason was in allowing her to chase after me? It was all so I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using that device at Gatewaterland, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. The name Kay Faraday didn't... Or the giant Gatigarasu pin that she's wearing? I researched a little into your background. Pretty huge dong? Yeah, there you go. That sounds like Shui. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me. Yes, I knew you would show up at that embassy tonight. So I thought to use you. But pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal. You got another? But, Cece. Yeah. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me. Is that true, Yatagarasu? You were going to take a little thief away from me? 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. The person who stole the Yatagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday? That incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu? There was no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now to this day. Does that mean it's Mr. Ernest Amano? The real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. Are you done asking what you need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. And you're going to tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? I guess I should tell you then that I was the one who set the Bobbly's embassy on fire. And why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all evidence of the counterfeit bills. That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do? But then, why start two fires? I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation, after all. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Wait. I mean, Sheena. Yes? When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks that I thought, well, I should return them to you. You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. I want to keep them. Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will. Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Agent Lang? Mark my words. I'm not done here, and I'll be back. I forgot this case keeps going. The more the merrier. It's got nothing to do with the duty. With duty? It's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg. The case isn't over yet. It's finally over, Kay. I feel like I peered into her heart a little, you know? And it's so cold and dark and incredibly lonely. The person who was giving her all those commands, the one who thought my father was a problem to be removed, that person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring. So Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they're selling at the Jammin' Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome. I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. Alright. Hair sticks. Oh, I guess it's that time already, huh? It's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. Really done a lot for everyone all these years. Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire. We almost didn't make it. We did it. We solved everything. Did we? That's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagarasu, were chasing after. The legend of that Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also part of the Yatagarasu? As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I've invented a new snack that's horrible for me. I'm not proud of it, but it's really effing good. Please, do share. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad? Don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Unfortunately, it isn't. Oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking my chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Bad, no, you're no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagarasu. Mr. Edgeworth, here. I should give these back to you. Oh, Detective Bad stole these from me? Oh. Open up an Oreo. Put a little bit of peanut butter on one side. A little bit of Nutella on the other. So you have cookie, peanut butter, Nutella, Oreo cream, and then cookie. It's a lot stuffed in there. It's also, yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot of sugar. I mean, obviously it's a lot of sugar, but I'm trying to think. Can you really taste the Nutella? I would think the peanut butter would overpower it. 1 or 2 sleeves of Oreos a week. Yeah, sorry. It's how you get half your calories anyways, so. Speaking of chocolate, I like Dove dark chocolate. Do you guys like dark chocolate? I love dark chocolate. I milk chocolate's okay, but I love dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's so good. I like it way more than milk chocolate. 100% cocoa. Does it say on here? Probably not. Yeah, it doesn't say on the packaging. Sorry. Is 100% cocoa like... Does that mean it's literally just a cocoa? It's like baker's chocolate? Spicy dark chocolate. Yeah, I've had it. Has like little peppers in it. Yeah. I've had a bit of that. It's a little spicy. It's interesting. It adds a little bit of heat to it, which is kind of neat. I think it's the same reason why spicy jam is interesting. Because spicy jam is like... You take regular delicious jam, you add a spicy flavor, and it like adds a new dimension of like, not only are we like the regular sweet stuff, we're adding like this weird like heat element to it. It just tingles your tongue a little more, and gives you extra. It just adds an extra layer of stuff to it. Also, dark chocolate sucks. Don't at me. I will definitely at you. You suck. How does that sound? Try it. Wakens up the taste buds. These are the pages from my KG8 case files the Yatagarasu stole from my office. Wait, what? Yeah, I must apologize for last night. So the Yatagarasu was stolen into my room was you, was it? Wait, and that means what? Say it ain't so. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. What? You'll cave in from pressure? About what? Dark chocolate? I have no idea what we're talking about anyway. Even if it's not something you want to hear. KG8 incident, it was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. Yu was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings companies had with the ring, including companies that dealt with the Amano Group, Mr. Amano's conglomerate. We call ourselves the Yatagarasu and flex our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We had finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday died for it. But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU, didn't have a sister. Knew it. What? That means Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto Yu was also another pseudonym. From the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. It's actually a technique for super picky kids that don't like eating. Shannon has had to do it with Cole when he was a toddler. He was insanely picky and refused like a few drops of hot sauce in a ketchup or sauce and put it on the food, and they like it? Interesting. Interesting. I would think that little kids would not like spicy food because it's painful. You know what I mean? But I guess if you just put a drop or two of hot sauce, you probably don't even taste a lot of it, but it just adds a little tingle in there. That's interesting. Just force feed the fuckers jalapenos. Funny story, whenever my brother was really little, he liked pickles, right? When he was 6 or so. And we were at my grandpa's house, and he was looking in the fridge, and he goes, "Oh, look, it's a jar of pickles." And then all of my aunts and uncles were like, "Oh, yeah, that's pickles, all right. Have one. Go for it." And they were all pickled jalapenos. And he ate one, whole. And then he realized it was a jalapeno. He was not very happy. So, there you go. My grandma tried mixing apples and pears when I was little and didn't think I would notice. You hate pears? I'm actually curious why you hate pears. They don't seem that... They seem... If you like apples but you don't like pears, it seems a little weird. I feel like pears are literally just different shaped apples. Their insides are so similar. The actual fruit part to it, they taste bad. They taste like other apples. Granted, I'll give you that most pears that you eat aren't very good. Right? A lot of times you get a pear and you're like, It's not a lot of flavor here. It's not that great, you know. So I'll give you that most pears, not that great. But I've had some good fucking pears, and oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, a good pear, mind blowing, phenomenal. There was one time I bought a red pear from the grocery store. For some reason, that pear was the best motherfucking pear I've ever had, and it was like $1, right? We've since bought like gourmet pears, right, from Harry and David, which is like a fruit basket gift website store, right? And their Royal Riviera pears are actually phenomenal. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think that pears are pretty good, and at worst, boring. I would say they're not bad tasting. So that's why I don't understand. Literally, I babysit loves all foods and anything he can eat, and really. So there were Listerine mouth strips on the counter. Oh no. He asked what they were, and I started explaining. Dad stepped in and said, "Shh." Shook his head at me. "Oh, to put one on your tongue and try it out." Lessons were learned. There you go. That's funny. It's a very dad move. I think there was a comedian who said it pretty well, but it was like, you know, moms are like the oven's hot, right? It's like, don't touch that oven. It's hot. It's okay. I won't touch the oven. It's hot, right? But dad's like, don't touch the oven. It's hot, but I wanna. Sure. Go ahead. Touch it. See how it feels. Touch it. Oh, it's hot. Well, I told you it was hot. Alright. Anyways, let's get back to the game. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto the page of the case file, please use it wisely. Trump card? That photo that we stuck on there, try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago. It's the mark of the Autogarasu, but why? This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. That was something Kochin had on him at the time of KG8's incident 10 years ago. Oh, is that the piece of evidence? Kochin had on him at the time of the KG8 incident 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU. Why is the card adorned with the mark of the Yatagarasu? The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. Oh, interesting. It's all fun and games to try to scrap melted strip out of his mouth. Those were a weird fad. Those things came out and they were everywhere. Everyone had those Listerine strips. They were giving them out like candy all over. It was so weird. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently, it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. The cards were written in Bobbleese ink. The fact that the card Kochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. So that's what those white cards are. The great thief that used the mark that only those within the ring would know was our message to the ringleader. We were only a few steps behind. Interesting. One more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you. What is that, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession, this important, definitive piece of evidence. But I thought this was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. And he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. We forced him to tell us where it was, finally, after the other day's kidnapping case. This video. What? Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is the same video as the one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. Yeah, it would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday. And the video was his insurance. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw it yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence. The card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon if whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night, both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one, whether you use them or not is up to you, but they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law. Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought into court? Detective Bad. There is no limit to the law, for it is the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that, even now, you really are something else. I'll leave the rest in your hands. Why would you use the special ink? Yeah, it's very much like, I have ink that only comes from this one place in the world. You know, this one tiny country where everyone is known. There's only 1,000 citizens. There's no way you can't find out who it is. Also, would we even be here if Amano's son didn't fake a kidnapping? No. Because if the kidnapping never happened, we would have never met Kay Faraday. And if we never met Kay Faraday, we'd not be here today. Because it literally happened yesterday. Alright, Gumshoe with the handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu. Pops, don't ever lose your detective spirit. Pops! Why is this happening? This isn't justice! Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now, let's go. Yes, sir! Is this really the end of the legend? To be continued. Okay, first and foremost, I need to pee, and then we'll decide what happens when we come back. Hang on. It is, in fact, no longer Pi Day. Wait, never mind, I'm done. Okay, hang on. Is Rivals of Aether out now? Or no? Yay, it's out now! Woo! We did it. We did it. It's here. Okay. Well, now we know. Took a hot minute. Took a few minutes afterwards, but it's available now. We did it, Reddit. All right. Well, I'm not going to download it on stream. I could probably keep going for another hour or so, like half an hour. Does that sound like a plan for y'all? Or should we call it here? All right. Keep going, it is. All right. I'm going to download Rivals tonight. Quick snack break. Can't sleep if I wanted to. Nor I. Nor I. It's all good. Mm-mm-mm. Scooch. Scooch. There we go. God, I love these pretzels. Wasn't something funny supposed to happen when I suggested ASMR? Funny? Is it working? Is it working, AP? Maybe if I eat the pretzels really close to the microphone, you'll be able to hear me eating them with that crunch. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Just eat these pretzels right. Oh man, I got some dust in the microphone. I'm gonna use my nose to wipe off the dust. The Cheeto dust. I don't know if you can hear my nose scratching the microphone or not. Got a better idea. Hang on. Got a better idea. Kettle cooked chips. That's not good. It's not very good to be dizzy for hours. It's not a good idea. Hang on. This section of the stream, it's how
jalapeno. Sorry, spicy. This portion of the stream is brought to you by AB being sub for 1 full year. I'm trying to see what else I have that's crunchy. What other kind of crunchy snacks do I have? Now that literally everyone else has left the stream, here's some controller sounds ASMR. There you go, bud. Oh, I need the controller. Wait, don't put that away. I think I'm almost ready to accept that people more than tolerate you. Oh, man. I'm not so sure about that, but you're welcome to think that. I got you, bud. I got your back. So now we really know who the Yatagarasu really was, and yet there remains so much to this case that needs to be resolved. I knew this wasn't the end of the case, since how all this shit happened. Alright, we have so much evidence that has not been used yet. Like how the weapons crossed the country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry protocols. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. I've got your back, nut.
Do my best! Do my...
I don't know why.
No.
Gotta
Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just with this aspect alone. Before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us. A piece of evidence from the KG-8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir. Isn't this supposed to take place in like the year 19 or something? That's Manny Kochin. And he's holding a knife in his hand? What is a VCR sitting around in 2019? I definitely don't. AP looks at his 2002 Dell CRT monitor in the corner of the room. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance to an apartment building. So So he's just walking around with a knife in a fucking calling card? But like, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. The crime scene was the victim's own apartment. This footage was shot at the entrance of the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. No one could find it. Somehow, someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. Also, isn't this a video and it's literally a picture of him? It's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it, which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage for the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what is that? What? I bet you just played now. Please show it to me again. This is something we cannot overlook. It's a Cadopian embassy car. Why is that, sir? Look here, Detective Gumshoe. That's the Cadopian flag. You think you have one? I mean, listen, you live in a fucking time capsule. I've seen pictures of your kitchen. I know you live in a... you're living in the 70s. What's funny is that my boy Benton, my homie Benton, before Harvey, his house hadn't been like updated in Lord knows like 20 or 30 years. Time warp. Treasures galore here. His kitchen was so 90s, like so old school. That house had not been like updated or renovated in so long. And I just remember going to his house and I'm like, dog, why does your kitchen look like it's, you know, like 40 years old, bro? This is in like 2005, right? When we were in school. I wonder what his family's up to nowadays. This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. Because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. The request we should be asking ourselves is what was a government car doing here? Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. Ambassador Albert, thank you very much. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. Yeah, if only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This has nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot, Quercus. You couldn't chase after a simple thief. Now then, let's get down to the real question why I came looking for the two of you. I'd like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned the embassy upside down. We are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have a police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. We must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babalis police? But Ambassador, we're so close. Just a little more. Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true. However, as he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil. In which case, we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where their investigation ends? Hold it. Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yo. Agent Lang, you are back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to resolve this case, no matter what. Sans microwave, my father's kitchen appliances haven't been touched in 20 years. God. I guess mine haven't been touched in almost as much time. Oh shit. We haven't had our kitchen renovated since like 2001. Well, I say that, but well, actually, our kitchen has looked this way for a long time. Maybe it was a little later than 2001. Tropical Storm Allison came through and then fucked our shit up. We had which is actually really crazy. Well, I'll tell you in a second. We'll get further into that. Sorry to inform you. And don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol just found to be a thief. Grr. Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. Boy. So many appliances made in the 70s. These were truly built to last. Yeah, that's before planned obsolescence was a thing. Ooh, handmade stuff. We have granite countertops, which are very nice. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Not so fast. Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is, I know who the killer behind tonight's murder is. You? No? The nut? I just want the wallpaper gone. It's so old and impossible. Yeah, the wallpaper can fuck off. Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Lang Zi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. Let me ask you this. Who do you think was Miss Damask's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Francisco von Karma. What? Bruh. Agent Lang has the worst takes. Is Liam Agent Lang and vice versa? Agent Lang is always wrong and has terrible opinions. Doesn't like us. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. I was the killer? Hey, wait. That's impossible. Yeah. Although that whip is actually quite... Ow! Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give a speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabasta and Babal, did you not? And where is your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show you that in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good. Let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset. Absolutely. Ha 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 ha. I expect you to accept no less. We'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Durr. Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part, and so that I may clean up my superior's mess. Huh. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you let Kay in, then you're going to let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing. Let's have a competition who can see you save her first. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm fired up. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. So this is going to be a real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleared up before you know it. Now let's go. We just left the evidence in the middle? The fucking 10-year-old VHS that's been hidden from sight for the last 10 years? That's incredibly precious evidence that we haven't seen in forever? We just left it in the VCR? Bro, you better rewind it, and you better bring it back. Be kind, rewind, first and foremost, and then eject it, and then bring it with you. Don't let it out of your goddamn sight. Oh, this dining room has all antique furniture. It's 100 years old. Jesus Christ. It's an old-ass table. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. Then, the body of Damas II, Mr. Kashi Nu, was found here in Alabastian Ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found the murder weapon was the Primadux statue, that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it, sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off. Is the wallpaper older than you? Oh. Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you're saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Yatagarazu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion over the fire. Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry, I plan to show you that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now, look sis, I thought I already told you. I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Sheena certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Grr. Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. You need to calm down, because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. It's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Master Damas II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damas II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. Yes, the investigation is the most important thing. As long as I have no good counterarguments to his hypothesis, the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Let's. I like how instead of investigating, we just started arguing in this guy's office. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin, and the murder weapon in the killing of Damas II is Babal's Primadux statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before that and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisco will remain a suspect. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility. There's only one plausible. You're boss. What I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Zi never said anything to that effect. You're a prosecutor. Who do you think you are speaking about Lang Zi's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all that you'll need to see the truth. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal's. That's correct. The murder weapon in the killing of Damas II was Babal's Primaduck statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. One of those. Okay, I'm just gonna start pressing. We're gonna start looking. I concur that this knife crossed over country lines. Good. But that's not the only thing that did. We mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was the only one. Wasn't the only one? Oh, the knife was only one of the weapons. Gotcha. Got it. So you're saying that the Primaduck statue was also brought over by Francisco? Like I told you before, that's the only way it makes sense. And how exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. It's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are. Maybe, but there's one thing I do know for sure. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. Impenetrable, huh?
Get a rock-hard ranger!
I should hardly think so. You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. Couldn't you just throw the knife over and then go collect it? Penetrate. We're talking about penetration over here? The only way for the knife and the Primaduck statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. The only one who traversed the two countries just before that and after the crimes was you. Is that true? Was Francisca really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she is the only one to go back and forth. The Sis there was Sis was in Alabast when the Yatagarasu showed. And then, just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered Babal. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into Babal. Then how do you explain the Primaduck statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves the killer must have also traveled across country lines. The only thing to cross the borders are the Primaducks and the knife? I should hardly think that those are the only items. Alright, I have a couple of ideas, but I have a feeling I'm going to start wasting a lot of energy here, so I don't want to do that, so I'm going to save. I'm going to be a smart boy, and I'm going to save. Okay. These two objects were able to penetrate countries in impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after was you. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, see, I had a feeling that was not the right answer. Remember Monomiya's advice? What is Monomiya's advice?
Do my best!
Was that it? The only one who traversed the two countries just before the crimes was you. Oops. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the country's impenetrable security. The only ones that traversed the two countries was just before and after the crime was you. Save often. That's good advice. It's very good advice. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay, I totally thought that was gonna be it. Well, if they're that strange, what should I do with them? There's something I've been meaning to ask. How exactly do you stick that hair stick of yours into your hair like that? That's a secret. Curiouser and curiouser. Take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. There's dirt on there. Totally ruining the beauty of the hair stick. I suppose. Why is there dirt stuck at the end of the hair stick? What am I missing here? Nope. Alright, what am I missing here? Anybody got any tips, tricks? One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin, and the murder weapon in the killing of Damask II was Babal's Primaduck statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. Is that true? Did Mr. Cochin infiltrate both countries? No. Not the knife. The Yatagarasu's key? Probably not. Football statue. Cadopian paper document. Counterfeit bills. The mask? Nope. What am I missing? Was Francisca really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she is the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was in Alabas when the Yatagarasu showed. And then just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered the ball. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into the ball. How do you explain the Primiduck statue? Haven't figured it out yet. The fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. Want them to cross the border of the Primiduck and the knife? I should hardly think that only two items missing. Oh, you know what? That also means that Alabast's Primiduck statue. That's not it. Okay. Nope. I think the other statue might be right, just the wrong part of the argument. So that'd be Alabast's, right? Look at you. I'm like, I know I'm onto something here, but for some reason I'm not doing it right. It's the one really frustrating part about these games is that you're on the right track, but you're not doing it exactly how the game wants you to. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, well, if they had to switch both, which means both of them had to trans. So it's not just like one went one way. It was like, no, man, they swapped them both. Those two items aren't the only two to cross the border tonight. Damas II was killed with Babal's Primiduck statue. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's Primiduck statue go? To Babal. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. A total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. Guess so. You know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that the sis is only that sister is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabasta and Babal is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries?
There was one person who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Is that really so, Agent Lang? What a lousy time to try and get to bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guard said, along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was another way. There was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I pointed out, it would open up a whole new possibility. Yes, indeed. Looks like you got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. How do you switch two statues so seamlessly? Very quietly. No. Thank you. Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo, like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. Don't start claiming that Sheena somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. I won't allow you to take back what you said earlier. And if you're wrong, you have to pay me $5. You gotta buy me lunch. And don't even think about saying the sky is green. It's like, bro, I'm not saying any of that shit. You need to chill. Chill. Say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you'd better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. I do, you dingus. Wait, not humanly possible? Eureka! Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry, trailed shadow is... Okay. Question is, which one is it? It looks like it's heading from east to west. Right? It's definitely moving from east to west.
Take that!
This is the face beyond the shadow. Is this... No? Okay. Fuck you. Okay, I said it was Babal, so let's try it again. Let's say it's Alabast. There we go. Okay, I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? It definitely looks like it's going this way. And then it would be Babal statue going into Alabast, so that Alabast could be coming into over there later on. I don't know. That just shit seems whack. The shadow is the third smuggled object, the Primadux statue replica. You can't be serious. The Yatagarasu, or rather Callisto Yu, dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Ha, Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit of your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? Ha! And how exactly did she do that? How exactly did he move through the air? I know how, I think. Did he say earlier? I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office. Just before the murder, Francisca was called here. If that's the case, there may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear a testimony from Miss Von Karma.
Oh? What are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. For that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. You think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you? I've said numerous times there's absolutely no proof that I'm the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. I would like you to hear your movements in this time. I don't have all the facts, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. One of the things that always bothers me is that, like, it's like, you know, hey, Gumshoe, you were on the scene of the crime before the murder happened. And he's like, I guess I was, yeah? Can you tell me what happened? What? You think I did it? You think I'm the killer now? It's like, no, you fucking Claude. Bro, you were here. You were literally here. I don't have the information. I need you to tell me what your side of the story is so that I know what to do, because I need your information. I need you to tell me so that I know how to defend you properly, right? And they're like, oh, but like, oh, I can't believe you don't believe me. Oh, it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Tell me what the fuck you were doing so that I can fucking clear your name. God damn. It happens every time. Like every single case. It's happened like 3 times this case. Kay's like, oh, not you too. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You believe them? No, I don't. So tell me what you were doing so I can use that as ammo to poke holes in their theory. Like, stop it. You idiot. We've done this 5 times already, dude. I'd like you to please testify to your movements in this room until the murder occurred. But if she has to say what she has to say turns to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest fast as you can howl no. As you wish. Movements in Alabast. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. All right. Also, what did you and Ambassador talk about? My face when I'm not the killer. Ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office. You were at the theater as well? I suppose you were also there as well, watching the stage show? Well, yes. After the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? I suppose you're right. In the end, Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Anyways. I did that on accident. There was no one in the Rose Garden. We were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. At that time, Damask 2's body had yet to be found in this room. Is that correct? That's right. Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal would say anything to get out of getting interested. What do you mean, his rather large presence? How do you know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsills watering his plants. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Alright then, add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details. Ambassador Alba was in this room at this time? My head's cooling off. I'm going to try and sleep. Sounds good, dude. I'm going to try and maybe wrap up after this cross-examination. You have a good night, AP. Sleep well. Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill. Okay. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants by the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side, however the window's on the opposite side. What you say is true. When you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct? It's not immovable. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me with the watering can in his hand. It was only natural to believe he was watering his plants, right? After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and was growing them with the utmost care. Yes, the plants in this room, they are all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box and the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. This one, Karma. What did you just say now? You two. And Ika, if she's still floating around here somewhere, yes. She's in and out, probably. She did take cold medicine, so. I do not understand. I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. Then why are there only 2 passion flowers now? Francisca, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma? Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's going to get taken away. Eek. All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony. For this, I am still under suspicion of murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important in this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Well, let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? The answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. Must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with utmost care, so I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. If there were 4, now there's 2. Why is that? Selected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. There's a watering can here. It's a rather robust design. Why are you telling us stuff that we can clearly see? If we keep wasting time, so Karma's gonna get arrested. This patch of soil looks as though it had something removed from it. What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang, flowers are best appreciated in silence? 2 things were pulled out of this flower box. And these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they're actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. No matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only 2 of them. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Oh, Zedric. Hurry up and shut this man up for me already. Need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. What, you do? Oh, alright. I highly doubt it'll last. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang, but you'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark. The truth the passion flowers reveal can only be seen in this piece of evidence.
Take that!
Sheena, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that looks exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. And so what? Is that really all important to this case? Of course it is. It always is. It means that we found yet another item that's been smuggled between the countries tonight. Yeah? Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Very well then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. So that's why. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? And so it is. But the shape of the support sticks is what is important. For they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. Ah, yes. They look like crossbow bolts. That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not suggesting... I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, make for perfect arrows. Aye-ya! Jackie! We must do more research! I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the 2 offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been fired? Who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all these things together. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. I have the piece of evidence you require. If all statue is draped in Yadagras's clothes, then shot over here, even if you fired the arrow from that side, they wouldn't be far with the statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Primidex statue don't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? Primidex statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. Much better. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of the crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird in the wind. The Primidex statues flew, just not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Alright. After we finish this, the next time we have like any sort of break, I'm gonna end the stream here. So the ball statue is draped in Yadagras's clothes, then shot over here.
Hold it!
That incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. What an incredible scene it was. This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right? So I hear. Not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not ones that sell photos of spirits and giant creatures in tabloids. I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many times in court. There have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you have ever stood in a court of law, you would know that it's entirely possible. You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now? Alright, yep, There really is something odd about this photo, no matter how you look at it. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them.
Hold it!
We're in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think? Things you wanted to smuggle are a lot bigger than nothing. It's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion on the conclusion, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves. Yes. Shot the wire. Finally. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow of the crossbow. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. What you're claiming is really what happened. I can see how Alabast's Primaduck statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. Then what about Babal's Primaduck statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going in the opposite direction of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up the 5th floor. How do you explain that? I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. The motion used behind this trick, I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Oh jeez. This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's Primaduck statue. Rotary motion? Now I'm confused. Rotary would be like, well, swinging would somehow, how would swinging get it across? Bungee? No, there's no extra cords. Would swinging it bring it back up? How do you go up? So the balls Primaduck statue up. Well, it's hollow, right? So how do you get it up? Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think it's bungee. I'm gonna put with swinging. A swinging motion was employed. Okay. So then it'd be rotary? Done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously, get real. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two opposites? Oh. There we go. There we go. If you shot an arrow with the two ends of the wire tied to it, a circular belt could be formed. Langzy says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension differences between the two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyways. Agent Lang, as you know, the Primaduck statue is one-of-a-kind national treasure. The fact that the ball statue is hollow replica on the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Langzy says, how?
Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirators set themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirators bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then one of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to the ball where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Ms. Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. Ha! Ha ha ha! Grah! Grah! This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer? Not yet. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove what you said is what happened? I'm gonna take a break now. Because we still have a lot more content to go, but I feel like we could probably do that all in one stream. Plus, it's getting pretty late. It's 3:20. Pretty sure everyone else has gone to bed. So we're gonna go ahead and save it here.